Transition to Vidia, an unexpected detour. After what felt like an eternity of learning and assimilation, Roche's boundless presence began to recede, a gentle farewell echoing through Joel's being. The time for your transition is at hand, Joel. You carry all the knowledge you have gained within you. You can remember all the data when you are in your physical form by accessing them through your own Akashic records. Joel, still grappling with the concept of Akashic records, attempted to voice his confusion. Akashic records? What does that even mean? Roche's presence, though fading, offered a final explanation. Think of it as a hard drive within your soul. Your physical body cannot possibly handle all the knowledge you now possess. It is stored there, accessible when needed, a reservoir of information waiting to be unlocked. A sensation unlike any Joel had yet experienced began to pull at him, a profound, irresistible force drawing him toward the vibrant, unstable chaos of Vidia. The vision of Xylos's world swelled, consuming his perception. He felt himself stretching, distorting, ready to be reintegrated into a physical form within that realm. But just as the final pull intensified, a jarring shift occurred. The trajectory changed, abruptly, violently. He wasn't heading for Vidia. He was being sidelined. A new, potent presence materialized directly before him, radiating an authority that felt ancient, yet distinct from Roche's infinite calm. This being was neither as vast nor as formless as Roche, but possessed a clearly defined, luminous humanoid shape, emanating an aura of profound inevitability. "Greetings, chosen soul," the new entity boomed, its voice resonating with a quiet power that commanded attention. "You may call me Sulled. I am the god of the afterlife path, the orchestrator of the next journey for all souls. Your current trajectory was suboptimal, given certain cosmic considerations. Consider this a necessary, if slightly forceful, redirection." Joel, frowning and utterly confused, tried to make sense of his new surroundings. What was happening? Where was he now? A jumble of the recent training sessions flashed through his non-existent mind, Roche's last lessons on cosmic traversal, and crucially, the technique for shielding his thoughts. He consciously clamped down on his mental queries, a subtle act of defiance against this unexpected intrusion. Suboptimal? Redirection? Joel finally managed to articulate, his voice thin and reedy compared to Sulled's booming pronouncement. "What are you talking about? Where am I?" Sulled's luminous form seemed to shimmer with a knowing patience. "Indeed, your ultimate destination remains. However, your arrival requires a moment of adjustment. A final check, if you will, to ensure optimal insertion into the delicate weave of that realm. That realm faces a growing imbalance. Its goddess, Xylos, is an anomaly. Her continued mismanagement threatens to destabilize not only her creation but, potentially, the adjacent universes within this cosmic cluster." Sulled paused, his gaze intensifying on Joel, as if weighing the potential ramifications of his next words. "Xylos, in her misguided pursuit of greater power, has engaged in practices strictly forbidden by the Divine Council. She has been consuming the life force of her human worshippers through acts of ritualistic sacrifice. This is a grave error. The prayers and virtuous energies of mortals are meant to flow freely, generating the very spiritual energy that sustains and empowers all gods. By forcibly taking this essence, she disrupts the natural flow, essentially siphoning off the collective wellspring of divine power for her own selfish, and ultimately futile, gain." A faint sigh seemed to escape Sulled's form. "The Council has warned her, repeatedly. Such actions weaken the very fabric of existence she governs, and her continuous errors threaten to cause cascading failures throughout the interconnected universes. This path she has chosen is unsustainable and, frankly, dangerous to us all." Sulled then leaned in, his voice dropping slightly, becoming a confidential murmur that resonated directly within Joel's core. "And this is why I must impress upon you a crucial distinction, chosen soul. You must not, under any circumstances, be a summoned being in that realm. Xylos's summoned beings are directly imbued with gifts by her, and what she gives, she can also take away. Her control over them is absolute. It makes them vulnerable to her manipulations and, worse, her sabotage." Instead, you are undergoing reincarnation. You will go through the natural cycle of birth within that universe. Your gifts, your powers, will not come from Xylos. They will be granted to you by the universe's inherent power, manifesting naturally when you are of age. This makes your abilities truly yours, untouchable by Xylos's petty whims. For now, I just need to add some additional protection to your soul, lest Xylos would again purposefully attempt to sabotage your transference and keep you from your true path. Sulled's light intensified slightly, almost imperceptibly. Do not overcomplicate the matter, chosen soul. Simply choose reincarnation. The realm of Xylos, a golden encounter. A blinding, encompassing white swallowed Joel. Sulled's luminous form slowly faded, dissolving into the brilliant nothingness. Joel felt a profound disorientation, a sense of falling and rising simultaneously. This must be it, he thought, instinctively tightening the mental shields Roche had taught him, ensuring his internal observations remained his alone. Sulled, his name. In Cebuano, Sulled means a kind of purgatory, a path for the dead. Like Akron or Styx in Greek myths. And his color, if I remember, was brown, a deep, earthy hue, unlike Roche, who was more a presence, a pure consciousness without form. A new worry began to prick at him. What would Xylos look like? Would she be as grand, as ancient, as these other beings? Or as petty as Roche described? Suddenly, a strange sensation registered, a faint but definite outline of a form, his form. He could almost feel his own body, his previous one. I'm Cebuano, right? So, brown skin? But with my mix. Malay, Chinese, Spanish, maybe I'd look more Indian? Or just, me? The vague physical awareness was fleeting, quickly overshadowed by the changing environment. The all-encompassing white began to coalesce. A gentle fade-in effect brought structure to the void. Joel found himself standing on a circular platform, bathed in soft, golden light. Below his feet, intricate lines glowed, forming what could only be a magic circle, pulsating with an ethereal energy. He realized he was enclosed, standing inside a transparent cylinder. Like a throwback Star Trek transporter tube, he mused, a flicker of dry humor in his shielded thoughts. Or maybe a sci-fi movie I barely remember. With a soft, almost imperceptible hum, the tube began to retract, smoothly descending into the platform, leaving Joel standing exposed in a vast, opulent space. Then, from above, a figure descended. She wasn't walking, nor flying, but rather hovering or floating down with an ethereal grace. Joel's gaze fixed on her. She was undeniably, breathtakingly beautiful. Her face was as smooth and flawless as porcelain, framed by cascades of black hair that seemed to absorb the light around them. Her eyes, luminous and captivating, were pure gold. Her lips were red as a rose flower blooming at its most peak. Her form was exquisite, curves that were quite exquisite, leading to breasts that were not large but large enough for him, perfect in their proportion. Do all goddesses look like her? Joel silently wondered, his analytical mind briefly overwhelmed by the sheer aesthetic impact. He kept staring. She reached the platform, her feet barely touching the surface, and a warm, melodious voice filled the air around him. "Welcome, chosen soul, to my heavenly abode," she declared, her golden eyes twinkling. "I am Xylos, goddess of this sacred realm, and the architect of the world you are destined to inhabit. Come, let me show you my palace." With a graceful gesture, she began to move, leading Joel through the sprawling, luminous architecture of her celestial dwelling. "And this, my dear soul, is the North Gate section," Xylos announced, sweeping her hand dramatically across the vast chamber. Joel, still trying to grasp the notion of directions in what felt like an infinite, golden space, couldn't help but frown slightly. "The North Gate? In heaven?" Xylos chuckled, a sound like wind chimes. "Oh, my sweet, naive soul. This isn't heaven in your simplistic mortal understanding. This is my divine domain. And yes, even a divine abode needs structure. The North Gate, as you so quaintly put it, is currently under construction. More instruments of soul summoning will be installed here. You, dear soul, are truly blessed. You are the first of the many reincarnated souls to pass through this very gateway. Her golden eyes narrowed slightly, a self-satisfied smirk playing on her porcelain lips. You are truly, utterly, and inexplicably lucky to be chosen for this. To be summoned by such a magnificent and benevolent goddess as myself. My creations, like this very summoning machine, are truly majestic. As she spoke, the entire room seemed to ripple and enlarge, a new section fading in around them. What was once a seemingly flat wall now gained depth, transforming from a 2D projection into a full 3D environment. Before Joel stood a colossal, intricate mainframe-like machine, easily 30 feet tall. Ruby-like lights and emerald-like lights flickered across its vast panels, pulsating with a hidden power. Oddly, etched onto its sleek, metallic surface, a product name was visible, Sulled 1000C. What the hell does that even mean? Joel thought, his mental shields working overtime to contain his surprise and confusion. Xylos's voice swelled, oblivious to Joel's internal turmoil. But alas, your tiny human brain could never truly comprehend such heavenly marvels. Your mortal minds are simply too limited. Only I, Xylos, in my infinite glory, can truly grasp the splendor of my own design. She continued to blabber about her own gloriousness, basking in the golden light. Then, she abruptly stopped, her golden eyes fixed on Joel. Why have you stopped, chosen soul? Why do you stand there, staring blankly at me with your mouth agape? Joel, following Roche's earlier counsel, quickly adopted the role of the awestruck, clueless mortal. He lifted his hands, seeing their transparent outlines as they seemed to pass through his head, trying to touch his own forehead. I have a brain, he stammered, his voice filled with genuine, though feigned, confusion. I thought I was a soul. Do souls have brains like living beings? Xylos's perfect composure faltered. Joel distinctly saw her upper left lip twitch, just barely. Insolent soul, she thought, a fleeting surge of irritation hidden beneath her divine mask. She maintained her regal posture, her smile slightly strained. You are doing nothing but staring, blankly. And your mouth is open wide. Are you truly so overwhelmed by my presence that your mortal brain has ceased to function? Pathetic. Oh, Goddess Xylos. Joel gushed, pouring all his acting prowess into the words. It's precisely that. My humble, insignificant mortal brain simply cannot comprehend such boundless beauty. Your radiance, your majesty, it overwhelms my very essence. My mind is utterly stunned by your glorious presence, rendering it incapable of anything but silent, worshipful awe. The faint twitch vanished. A broad, self-satisfied smile spread across Xylos's face, her golden eyes gleaming with pleasure. Ah, well said, little soul. Such exquisite appreciation. It is only natural, of course. Come. Follow me. I shall now grace you with a tour of the South Gate, she commanded boastfully, and with a flourish, she turned and continued deeper into her palace. The South Gate, a heavenly airport. The South Gate was simply a straight line going to another doorway. There, Xylos waved her hands dramatically, a gesture entirely for show, as boastful as she was of her powers. The doorway opened onto a sprawling hall. And this, my dear soul, Xylos announced grandly, is the South Gate. Joel's eyes widened as they entered the vast space. It was bustling with activity, strikingly reminiscent of an airport ticketing office, or even a full airport terminal. There were countless shimmering gates, each manned by a multitude of glowing, ethereal staff who seemed to be managing an endless flow of something. Xylos went on, her tone shifting momentarily to what she likely considered polite and informative. This is the glorious gateway where new souls, like yourself, are prepared for their reincarnation. And those floating, watery-like objects, she gestured towards translucent, undulating screens positioned before each gate, are the film that separates my abode from my world. Her voice then reverted to its arrogant default, laced with an almost childish grandiosity that grated on Joel's logical mind. Through these magnificent films, souls are imbued with the very essence of my world, a magnificent, intricate process only a being of my divine caliber could oversee. It perfectly harmonizes their spiritual form with the physical laws of my creation, ensuring a seamless transition into a new life. A process of unparalleled perfection. She stopped abruptly and turned to Joel, her golden eyes fixed on his feigned awe. So, chosen soul? What do you think of my magnificent south gate? Joel carefully chose his words, maintaining his clueless persona while subtly inserting the flattery. Oh, goddess Silos. It's like a stargate. He tried to meekly describe the concept, referencing the ancient Earth movie. You know, like a portal. Maybe even better, perhaps Heaven's Gate? Because you are so heavenly beautiful, goddess, it is truly best to call it that way. It perfectly describes your ethereal majesty. Xylos's perfect lips, red as a rose in full bloom, twitched, just barely. A spark of irritation, then a flicker of genuine recognition, crossed her features. Joel could almost feel the gears turning in her divine mind. Then, the twitch smoothed into a broad, self-satisfied smile. Heaven's Gate, she mused aloud, tasting the words. Yes, it does, doesn't it? It perfectly describes my essence. Your praise is worthy, little soul. Truly, your appreciation for my divine splendor is exceptional. It is only fitting that such a gate bears a name befitting its glorious creator. She beamed, basking in the compliment, her arrogance fully restored and even amplified. Now then, the tour of the South Gate is complete. We have much to prepare for your grand reincarnation, chosen soul. Follow me. With a magnificent flourish, she turned and continued deeper into her opulent palace. Pavilions of divine splendor. The praises from Joel had an invigorating effect on Xylos, a sensation even more potent than the energies she usually siphoned from sacrificed souls. She hummed to herself, a subtle shift in her golden aura indicating a slight, undeniable upgrade to her powers. Her eyes gleamed with newfound interest. Joel's words, his pure, unadulterated adoration, were a far more palatable and efficient source of power. She changed her mind. No, we won't just finish here, she announced, her voice dripping with renewed self-importance. Before your grand reincarnation, you simply must witness the two most exquisite pavilions in my divine abode. With a regal wave of her hand, Xylos led Joel towards another grand doorway, which opened to reveal the West Pavilion. Inside, it was an ethereal living room furnished with a graceful seat and an ornate table. Beyond this cozy arrangement, the wall was not a wall at all, but an open expanse of profound darkness, teeming with twinkling stars. Xylos spread her arms wide, gesturing at the cosmic tapestry. Behold, dear soul, my glorious luminaries, each a testament to my boundless creation, shining with a regal splendor that guides the very fabric of existence. Joel, ever the pragmatic observer, couldn't help but interject. You mean, the stars? Can you travel to them from here, goddess? Is this view exclusive to you? Xylos's golden eyes narrowed, and her perfect lips, red as a blooming rose, twitched. How do you know such things? She asked, a suspicious edge sharpening her melodious tone. Joel, recalling Roche's guidance to act the fool, quickly pivoted. Oh, goddess Xylos. It's merely the overwhelming beauty of them. These stars, like magnificent jewels, just like yourself, shine so brilliantly from here. They are truly a shining beacon in the dark, guiding one's path and uplifting the soul. Such incandescent beauty could only originate from your divine touch, goddess, an inspiration to all who gaze upon them. This fresh cascade of effusive praise caused another surge of power to ripple through Xylos. It was stronger, more intoxicating than the last. She visibly swelled with it, absorbing his words not just with her ego, but with her very essence. Her smugness returned, but it was now laced with an undeniable regal acceptance of his adoration. Indeed, she purred, her voice a deep, satisfied hum. Such insight, for a mere mortal soul. It is only natural that my glory should inspire such profound truths. She then turned, already moving towards the next destination. Now, come, chosen soul. I shall grace you with the sight of the East Pavilion. The East Pavilion, a garden of paradise. As they approached the East Pavilion, Xylos again waved her hand, and the door swung open, revealing a breathtaking sight. Like the West, it featured a radiant living room, but the open space beyond it was a sprawling, vibrant garden. And here, suspended eternally, was a glorious, soft sun that had just risen, casting its golden light at an angle of roughly 33 degrees. Xylos described the scene with an almost ethereal reverence, her usual arrogance tempered by a genuine appreciation for this part of her domain. Behold the serenity of this sacred space. Observe how the floor gleams with a pristine, ethereal white, reflecting the pure light of the divine. The ceiling decorations, intricate and exquisite, are subtly embedded with countless pearl-like objects, shimmering with an inner luminescence. This place, it is truly a sanctuary of refreshing energies. Joel felt an immediate sense of profound peace and invigoration wash over him. The air was crisp, sweet, and unbelievably refreshing. As Xylos moved through the garden, light seemed to cling to her form. He noticed she was wearing light clothes, and her movements were so elegant, so fluid, it was almost as if he could see through her clothes, a mere suggestion of her divine form beneath. Do all goddesses, or even gods, wear clothes like this? He wondered, a familiar flicker of his analytical mind returning. After Xylos concluded her tour of the East Pavilion, Joel spoke, his voice filled with genuine awe. Goddess Xylos, this place, it is truly paradise. Why is it so incredibly refreshing here? It is as if this sacred garden perfectly embodies your very essence, so refreshing, so enlivening. It uplifts the soul, goddess, truly, it represents you, who lifts the souls of all who gaze upon you. As he spoke, Joel felt a powerful surge of energy emanate from Xylos. She was absorbing his praises. You must always sleep here, goddess, Joel continued, pressing his advantage, and wake up refreshed all the time, don't you? Xylos stopped, her golden eyes again narrowing with suspicion. How do you know I sleep here? She demanded, a sharp edge in her voice. Joel, ever the performer, simply smiled and offered more flowery words. It's simply because you are so inherently refreshing, goddess. Only a divine being of your unparalleled beauty and grace could create, and reside within, such an invigorating paradise. Your very presence emanates such boundless vitality that it would naturally rejuvenate you always. Another significant surge of power rippled from Xylos, visibly brightening her aura. His praises were like pure, potent fuel. With the tours of the pavilions complete, Xylos seemed to hunger for more of Joel's potent adoration. Come, chosen soul, she announced, her voice ringing with renewed confidence as they turned back towards the north gate. Now, I shall favor you with a truly grand spectacle. I shall demonstrate a summoning. It was clear she intended this to be a grand event, a testament to her power, and another opportunity for Joel's uplifting praises. What grand spectacle awaits Joel at the north gate, and how will Xylos's demonstration unfold?